Alrighty, how's it going? It's me, Jonathan. Now I'm doing a voiceover here, unscripted. I didn't exactly want my microphone on because I've got music going, the floors are creaky, it's just, we don't want all of that. So what I want to showcase here is my process for how I shoot clips of scenes that you all see in my reviews. So what I'm doing right here is I turn my ISO all the way up, and depending on what I see, I grab my microfiber cloth. I like a clean lens, so seeing all of that in the editing room is just, that's not great. So what I'm doing here is essentially getting the scene ready. This is all of the prep work that, this is literally me filming the first scene in the entire review, so it's a bit different from the rest. So I get to bypass cleaning the screen and all of that stuff later. So here I'm just trying to figure out the composition of the shot. I like to try to get the camera in the right angle. I don't really like capturing the paper rolls up top. So what I try to do is I try to get the camera lens and the product in the right shot. By utilizing the desk, I can also manipulate the height. That along with the tripod is also, they work hand in hand. At this point, it's just figuring out, okay, which lights do I want to work out first? Because in this entire video, I'm going to use 4, but I'm starting with 3. So I like to work on the edge light first. This is the main light that I typically keep on to work the scene. So what I do is I shut that off. And then I go ahead and I use either the light off to the left or the light off to the right. So at this point, I will be turning on the camera so that you all can see exactly what that light is doing. At this point, what I like to do is zero in on the focus point of the shot, which is the knife. So here, obviously, we're going to highlight the character. But I also want the attention of this shot is to be on his knife. And that's where the Elgato light here, we're going to use that to sort of highlight it and the figure. It's really just a lot of essentially just making sure everything is lit properly. Is there enough light? Am I not showcasing the right thing? So if you see here, as I start to slowly turn the light, it's highlighting the knife and not necessarily highlighting the figure, which I'll show you that in a moment. So now it's making sure both of these lights work cohesively. You don't want one light overpowering the other. Even if the lighting off to the left is slightly brighter, that's okay because it's a black background. It's a really dark figure. We don't want that meshing in the background. So here I like to play with shadows in my work. So it's trying to figure out what's just enough shadows, what's too much light. This is kind of how I go about it, at least. Now the problem here is you're making it less about the knife and more about Wrecker. And I realized that a little bit later because I just like moving light around. I like introducing motion through light sources. So at this point, everything is dialed in to a certain point. And I say that because you'll see the other light source later. So here I'm trying to figure out the composition still isn't right for me. What do I want the viewer to see? You all should be paying attention to the knife. If you're paying attention to Wrecker, that's okay because the visual interest is there. He's lit too. But I don't want him competing with the knife. So now, because I'm already recording, I can't fix the focus point, so I have to use it through the autofocus feature. And here I'm trying to figure out what's missing. And I realized that the motion with the top light, as I said before, was just too much. So now what we're going to do is we're going to introduce moving light onto the knife so that it draws the viewer attention to the knife. So it makes you look at it versus, oh man, yeah, record looks really cool. Oh, the knife, that's what we're here for, even if I'm talking about it. There are people who watch reviews without the sound on. So for those people, I want you to be able to understand, yeah, we're talking about the knife at this stage. Again, excuse me, I have my coffee here. I woke up not that long ago, so forgive me. So here, I wanted to show you all this little screen here is just really bad. I like this one, but I need an external power source to power it because the battery life is just, man, that thing uses a lot of battery power. Far better than using the side screen here though. So at this point, what I wanted to do was turn it off because this is a huge file when I just keep it rolling like that. So here I'm manually adjusting the focus point again, making sure everything is dialed in because sometimes the autofocus, it doesn't really focus properly. And we're talking about 6 scale figures. We don't want that just, that's kind of nasty when it's a little blurry and it could be a little sharper. So at this point, I grabbed the additional light from the bookshelf off to the side there because I feel like it's a little dark underneath his arm. So what we want to do is we want to highlight it a little bit without pulling attention away from the knife, but adding the visual interest there. If maybe the scene is held a little bit too long, you have more to look at. So I utilize this Elgato Center app. It doesn't really want to work with me simply because I want to show you all how it works. Thanks for that. And here it's placing the light just beneath him. As you can see the edge of his forearm there, but it's too bright. So here we're going to utilize the app to turn it down because again, simply its job is to simply highlight it. And at this point, it's just really tweaking all of the manual light sources to make sure everything is dialed in properly. And that's pretty much what I do. This is clip by clip. I know that there's a lot of interest in what I do and how I do it. This is it. It takes quite a bit of work. The burnout from the heavy weapons clone in Oppo, doing that for a double release like that just really sucked. And yeah, that's kind of it. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.